Hi, in today's video, we're going to talk about partitioning a segment. Partitioning a segment means to divide it up into pieces, usually according to a given ratio. Remember, ratio is a relationship between numbers. Example 1. Given line segment AF that has been divided into 5 equal parts by points B, C, D, and E. A. Find point P such that AP to PF equals 1 to 4. 1 to 4. Now, what's important, as you saw in the previous video, is that the total amount is 5. The whole amount is 5. Meaning, if I have 1 pen and 5 pencils in my hand, I have the total amount of writing instruments in my hand is 5. So that's important. Now, okay, so we're starting at A, and we're ending at F, and we want to know how is this broken up? What point? Where's P so that it breaks up this line segment from 1 to 4? Well, if I move 1, okay, there are 4 pieces remaining. So that point would be B. Find Q such that AQ to QF equals 3 to 2. Well, if I go over, if I start at A, 1, 2, 3, I'm at D, and there are 2 more pieces remaining. 1, 2, 2 pieces. So that's going to be D. And again, that's 5 total pieces. Why do I say that? Because C is different. It says find R such that BR to RE equals 1 to 2. Well, now we have 3 whole pieces. Now, where am I starting? This is important. Let me erase this so that it's not confusing. Now I'm starting at B and I'm ending at E. So my segment starts at B and it ends at E. And I want to know where is that point that's going to break up that line into 1 to 2 pieces. If I move 1, it's going to be at C. Then I have 2 pieces remaining on the segment. So that's going to be C. All right. A directed line segment is a segment from one point to another point on the coordinate plane. Directed line segment AB would start at point A and end at point B. So I'm going to use that for my example number 1, which says line segment AB has endpoints A, 3, 4, and B, 6, 10. Find the coordinates of P along the directed line segment AB so that AP to PB is, and I'm going to change this, I'm going to change it to 1 to 2. All right, so when I change it to 1 to 2, how many parts do I have in total? I have 3 total parts. That's important because really what I want to know is where is the 1 to the 3? Where is this 1 to the total amount of 3? And that comes into play on how I'm going to show you to set up to find a partitioning of a line segment. All right, now there are 3 steps here and they're important. If you follow this, this becomes really straightforward. So what I do, we are starting at A and we are ending at B. That's the line segment. Line segment A starts at 3, 4 and it ends at B, 6, 10. Without graphing it, what I'm going to do, I'm going to write down A, 3, 4, And then down here, I'm going to write where it ends, B 610. It's important we write it this way because that's our starting and that's our ending. And we want to know, again, where is 1/3 of that line segment? Now, because 1 to 3 parts, kind of the same thing, 1 to 3 parts. Now, 1/3 parts, 1 to 2. Very important here is that you write the first up top, the ending down below, because that's where you're starting and that's where you're ending. So what do I do? The first thing I do is I find the total change for each X and Y value. So the X goes from 3 to 6. Okay, to go from 3 to 6, I have to add 3. That's the total amount. This is for X. The total amount, or the total change from 3 to 6 is 3. Now, that's the total amount. I want to know 1/3 of that, because that's the point I'm looking for. Okay, I want to know 1/3. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take 3 and I'm going to times it by 1/3. Okay, 3 times 1/3 equals 1. That's 1/3. So if I start at 3 and I want to know 1/3 of 3 to get to that 1 to 2 relationship, I'm going to add 1 to it. So this is my point P. 3 plus 1 is 4. I'm going to do the same thing for the Y value. Okay, how do I go from 4, or what is the difference between 4 and 10? How do I get there? I have to plus 6. So I'm going to write 6 down here, but that's the total amount. I don't want to know the total. I want to know 1/3 of that. So I'm going to times it by 1/3. When I do that, that equals 2. So what I'm going to do from my starting point is I'm going to add 2 to my A value. That's going to be 6. So my point here, or P, is 4, 6. That's my answer. And then that's it. So you're going to find the total change, multiply by the fraction of the ratio, and then you're going to add it to the starting point. Those are the 3 things you're going to do. So I'm going to write that here. 1. Find the total change. Now you notice I didn't use the coordinate plane at all for this. It's up to you. You can use the coordinate plane if you want to, or you can use this method. 2. Multiply by the fraction. 3. Add to the starting point. Very important. That last step is always what students tend to miss. Okay, let's take a look at another example. Line segment AB has endpoints 610 and P 5, 4. Find the coordinates of point P along the directed line segment AB so that AP to PB equals 2 to 3. All right, the first thing you do is find out what is your fraction. Well, the total amount you have is 5. Add those two together. So it's going to be, you want to know 2 out of the total amount, which is 5. So 2/5 of it. All right, so I set up my starting point. My starting point is A, and that's 6, 10. Load this up. My ending point is P here. That's 5, 4. All right, I want to know what B is. Okay, I just found something that I think needs to change. So this should be a B, and we're looking for point P. No big deal. All right, still the same thing. So my first step, find the total change. To go from 6 to 5 is -1. Okay, I don't want to know the total change. I want to know 2/5 of that total change. So I'm going to times it by 2/5. All right, really straightforward. That is -2/5 from my starting point. Well, 6 minus 2/5 is 5.6. Now, this one would be very difficult to do on the coordinate plane, but if you want to try, go for it. All right, now, 10 to 4. Well, the total change from 10 to 4 is -6. All right, I don't want to know the total change. I want to know 2/5 of that. So I'm going to multiply by 2/5. 6 minus 2/5 is -12/5. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to subtract 12/5 from 10. Okay, when I subtract 12/5 from 10, I am left with 7.6. So that's my point. Okay, remember, 3 steps. Find the total change, multiply by the fraction, and the fraction is adding those two together with that numerator, and then adding to the starting point. Remember, that's the part, adding or subtracting to the starting point, but that's the part that students usually forget. All right, so what I want you to do, very important, I want you to write down some key ideas, and any method you want, I want you to do numbers 1 and 2. All right, see you in the next video.